Pronto?
Pronto.
Ciao!
From Ortigia.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Chit Chat with Jen and Matt.
It's an
Is that
interesting
working? How did you like that one? Is that good?
You know, I liked mine better, but that's okay. So today on the vlog, we're going to talk about how we wound up choosing the town where we are buying a house to renovate.
As Matt said, our vlog is going to be more about how we picked the town that we lived in, because we currently live in Ortigia. And if you caught or didn't catch our last vlog, at the end of this video, we'll give you a link about why we chose to not stay in Ortigia. So we're going to do this a little differently than our original vlogs, just because I kind of know what Matt's going to say. So I'm going to interview him to manipulate him into saying exactly what I want him to say. I hope you're ready for this.
Fun.
I hope you're ready for this. Okay, so Matt, can you tell us why we picked where we picked?
Oh, well...
I'm sorry, you have a fluff. All right, go ahead.
God, we could have fixed that in post. Go ahead. So there was not really a process per se. We went out. We decided to look at houses in a variety of towns, sort of north of Catania, to explore that area, and accidentally we stumbled into this thing that we were not planning on looking at. But someone said, "Hey, you've got to look at this new listing that we have," and we were just kind of enchanted by it. We were walking around, we were sort of not feeling like we were going to be making decisions on...
Yeah, our plan was to sort of get an idea of what is even on the market.
Yeah, but ultimately, the more that we looked around this house, I looked over at Jen and she's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and Matt didn't say, be careful.
I probably did, but...
No, you were very excited. You were very
also
interested by this house as well.
I was also enchanted.
Okay, so that in a nutshell is it. So we could end the vlog now, but I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna have us go back a little bit and say, like, how did we decide the general region we even wanted to pick houses? Because the houses that we saw on our very first house trip were in a specific region.
Yeah.
The house that we ended up, and they were all houses that all the houses we saw were on our list that we had found and asked the realtor to get us into. It works a little differently here in Italy, so we sort of did a mashup of Italian and American style house hunting. But the house we saw wasn't on that list. But how did we pick that initial list of houses?
Well, I mean, I think
where did it need to be? We knew East Coast.
Yeah, we knew East Coast, and while we like Siracusa and Ortigia, we also had stayed during our sort of preliminary trip process in a town called Lingua Glossa that's up on the Etna volcano, which we thought was nice. And we have sort of a small circle of friends that are also in that sort of north of Catania kind of area.
Yep.
And so we're just generally looking for things that are in a particular circle around Greater Catania, like stay within like an hour of the international airport and everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so when we've looked for houses in the U.S.
Yep.
Since this really was found because we were looking for houses, when we've looked for houses in the U.S., we've said, oh, we want this many bathrooms, a minimum of this many bathrooms, this many bedrooms, and a minimum of maybe this square footage, and maybe, given the real estate agent, a price range, right?
Yep.
Does that work here?
Not so much. I mean, Idealista is... is trying to, is a website and app that's trying to bring a little bit of that structure.
I'm going to keep messing with this since I don't know how to fix this in post. I have a curl in case I'm annoying people. Now I've called it to your attention. You'll all notice. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're trying to bring it a little bit more into how it works in the US, but it's still really not. I mean, in terms of what percentage of houses are listed there, as well as even just what do you call a bedroom versus just how many rooms something
Yeah,
is.
it's very confusing. It would say like 8 rooms, and you're like, 8 bedrooms? And sometimes they count a bathroom, and sometimes they'd only count bedrooms. There's nothing sort of consistent here. And so what we basically did is found, we sort of took a price range we wanted, and we knew a few regions that we wanted. We had driven through a few towns too. We kind of had an idea. So we would start searching on there's a couple of these real estate apps to be able to give our real estate agent, our immobiliare, an idea of what we wanted, because we were like, it has to have a certain kind of charm. But he has no idea what that means. He can't translate that
And
from
especially
American.
post renovation.
Yes.
So it's the opportunity to have charm.
The opportunity to have charm. Like, it has the genes for charm, as opposed to it is an ugly square box that will have to be taken down to give it charm. So giving him an idea of this qualifies for us to look at, and this, and when we go see them, our thought was we would say, less creepy, less rocks, more walls, type thing, right?
Sure.
And so we knew we wanted to be in this area. We knew we wanted to be near enough to the airport. We thought Ortigia was centrally located. It's a little further south to be centrally located. So we did sort of the same thing, but went north of Catania instead of south. We're really looking for anything sort of north of Syracuse. So pretty much in it's not called a province anymore. Matt just found out, the Free Municipal Consortium of Catania. Not the city of Catania, but the Free Municipal Consortium. Just call it a province. We're just going to call it a province because it's easier. So we really did struggle with sort of figuring out where we wanted to be, and it really got down to, do we want to be in the town, or do we want to be in something more rural, which we have covered in a previous vlog. And that was the magic of this house, is that it gave us the best of both worlds. So this is a walkable town. It is not as full of life as Ortigia is. It has many, many fewer people in it. I can't remember what the current number is. I want to say it's like 3,500 residents of this town, which means also we could be part of the community. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I'm an American with really poor Italian. So far. No people in the area. It was centrally located. It is walkable, but it had land. It's secret land. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till we can show them pictures and take them on a tour. So it has its own sort of secret garden, which my language coach said we just have to call giardino interno, an internal garden, but I call it a secret garden. So it's giardino segreto, which seems so much fancier.
It does.
Yeah, it's very overgrown and needs a lot of work, but it is segreto. And so honestly, it fell into our hands. We had picked out, we wanted to really focus sort of, I think at this point, what are you laughing at?
This is you interviewing me.
I know. Such a boring interview, sorry. All right, so Matt, tell us what I would say about picking the location. So we had pretty much through Immobiliare picked a region, not an Italian region, but a region that we were focusing on.
I mean, and we just thought it was our first trip out and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, just talk.
Okay, just talk. Okay. Yeah.
No, what else do you want to say?
What
else would you add to this?
Oh, I wouldn't. You've talked, sufficiently. That's just you covered everything.
Okay, more questions.
But that's okay.
For Matt. Matt, when you first saw this house, well, not when you first saw it, when you got halfway through this current house, what did you think? I
thought it was intriguing. I mean, certainly between I don't know how many, what things can I give away that, like you've mentioned Secret Garden now. That's out there.
So they can imagine. We are like weeks
Yes.
away, just weeks away from being
Sure.
able to share it with you guys.
Sure.
What else do you want to share? Oh, it's got beautiful, just don't say who.
Oh, okay. Well, so it's got beautiful murals. It's just an interesting style house. It's got
There's
great
charm.
has charm. It's got great views of Calabria and Mount Etna.
Yeah.
So and
At the same time, they're in different directions, folks. So you'll see that when we finally can give you a tour.
So yeah, it was really intriguing, and as a renovation project, it feels like, well, there'll be a lot of work, but
Yes, but not so much that, like, it has a roof,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is good.
good bones,
Yeah, it was built before there was,
running water, electricity.
yes, there's
The
a
country
well
of
in the
It-
back.
the country
of Italy,
Yeah,
yes.
and,
It's a pre-Italian style palazzo, yeah. So much to do. What would you recommend to somebody who was choosing a place to live? Because sort of following our path of just go look at houses and you will find the town seems like, what do you think the path was we were supposed to follow?
Well, I think you do have to do a lot of looking. I mean, you can look a decent amount online and figure out what you want and what you don't want, and that kind of thing to an extent, and then you have to go see it and make sure that it, that reality sort of matches, what your expectations are, and just kind of the nature of different towns and different regions. What's the town feel like? I don't think that's hard to pick up.
Do you think that looking at the apps, the Immobiliare.it, I think they're both .it,
Idealista.
and Idealista,
Yeah.
those two, there's more, I think Subito, and you can probably just Google it, but there's a handful of apps, because there's no MLS system here.
MLS, for people who don't know, is at least in the U.S. the system where it's like an official register of houses for sale, and the real estate professionals, the estate agents, they
look them up, they see what comes in every day.
Very structured. They know what everything sold for. They know what everything was listed for.
Yeah.
They know everything, and it makes the process more.
So how would you say you can use
structured.
those apps as a tool to figure out where you want to live?
I mean, ultimately, you really just have to use them to get a sense of condition of houses, the cost of different towns, and sort of what you get for your money in each different spot.
Yeah. So imagine wherever you come from, where there's an expensive city, and if you wanted to look up a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, how much does it cost there? And then if you went to a less expensive city, how much does it cost there? So basically getting an idea of what you can get for your money in the different towns. And then I think, what do you think about going to see some towns?
Yeah, I think you have to see the towns to get a sense of, I mean, you want a town that feels, at least a bit alive, or
well, unless you don't want that. I mean, you need to see if it feels like alive enough for you.
If it matches, it matches what you're looking for.
What time of day should you not go looking for a house?
Oh gosh, you should not go scouting locations between 12:30 and 4 because basically businesses are closed. People have gone home.
It looks like a ghost town, no matter where you go.
Everything
which is so fantastic. I haven't fully adapted to it yet. You haven't at all because you're working American hours.
I have to work American hours.
Yeah, but it's really important. We actually have done this even in the U.S., where we've just driven through towns and sort of, where's the town hall? What does it look like? What does this look like? Does this feel like, if you drove through here and said Jen and Matt live in this town, it would feel right and not.
And I like a certain amount of like sort of commercial energy. I mean, to
If you want
understand
it.
that there's, well, yeah,
Because you could totally want to go
I'm
live
saying me.
rurally.
I mean, like
Yeah.
for me, I mean,
Right. That's what
I'm,
you're looking.
I'm looking for a certain amount of commercial energy in
Right.
town, just
Right.
because for me that indicates.
But if you were looking
life.
for something rural,
Yeah, then,
you're gonna have different criteria, but you would go drive around some rural area and see are there enough gas stations for you? Is there enough, how far away from you if you're living rurally from a hospital? I know a lot of people who are coming to Sicily to retire are concerned about where the hospitals are, right? Like you don't want to have to
drive an hour.
drive an hour to stay alive. Yeah. So I think that gives you a very clear but not so clear idea of how we picked Piedimonte Etneo. And Matt is squeezing my hand because he's telling me we've gone too long already. We're at time. We're trying to keep these short for now. I know when we start taking you on tours through the house, you'll be like, more. But I think that's good for now. If you see this, we're gonna include the video we talked about before and anything else.
I mean, as always, I mean, it'd help us out if you like us or subscribe to us. Or
I always want to know if you like me.
Click the bell
My love
to
language. But subscribe would be great too. I'll take that as a like. And let us know in the comments what else you want us to cover so that we don't have to spend time arguing over dinner about what we're going to talk about next.
I mean,
Save our marriage.
like-
SOM. Save our marriage.
like we said, once we have the house in hand, then this whole show changes and it won't be so much of this. It'll be a little bit more.
It's coming.
This whole thought.
Until then, arrivederci.
Awesome.